sales volume and profit-based quota. These are what they have to achieve, and at the end of the year, we will be evaluating their performances by using these two types of quota. We call these two as output. Okay, output. And activity quota, this is what they have to do, right? So these are the activities that they have to perform in the whole year. How many times and how many days and so on. That is the input. So now let's go back to chapter 13. Did we finish output based in the last class? This one. Did we finish it?
No.
Not yet? Not yet. So we finished this one?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, good. So when we evaluate the performance of sales people, we have input based, we also call it behavior based, all right, and output based or the result based. Last class we finished until input based. So now we are going to study output based system or result based. The results that they have to achieve, right? So just now I showed you in terms of sales quota, that would be like profit and sales quota, all right? And output based, or we call it outcome based, result based. We will set the performance standard and we ask them to perform accordingly, okay? At the end of the year or at the end of the specific period of time, we will be evaluating what they are achieving, their actual performances and the standard that we set in the beginning. So that is, here again, that's what we saw, right? We set the sales quota, sales objective. They perform in the whole year, try to achieve whatever we ask them to achieve. And at the end of the year, we will see how to call like comparing the objective of quota with their actual performances. In this case, here, the example is to achieve total sales volume 20 million baht at the end of the year 2021. This is only one example, right? They need to achieve sales 20 million baht at the end of the year. So if you look at the amount of sales, 20 million baht, within 1 year, that is a quite large amount of money. But it is possible when we consider selling industrial goods, right? Selling like heavy machine, equipment, installation. The prices are like very high. When we sell the room, okay? So in this case, then within 1 year, if we can sell like 3 to 4 units, 3 to 4 systems, then that is possible. Okay? That is totally different from like consumer goods. All right? Anyway, this is just the example. So now look at the table. Sales, the order, profit, the account, these are called as the outcome of the results. Okay? As I said in the previous class, that by performing, okay, those activities, by having those behaviors, or like by fulfilling activity quota, then they will achieve those. So what we expect here is the numbers should be high, right? To say that this salesperson has a good performance or favorable performance. Sales should be high, there will be more and more orders, higher and higher profit, more and more accounts. So overall, we say that these are supposed to be high, okay? So that we will be able to evaluate the performance of salesperson as high or favorable performances, good performances. But one thing to remember is if you break down into detail, number of accounts lost, you have to be very careful about this. That is, how many accounts say the salespeople or salesperson, okay, will be losing. It is not good, isn't it? You as a salesperson, you are supposed to bring more and more accounts to the company, but now you are losing the accounts. The accounts are leaving you, leaving the company. So it is possible that they are not happy with you. They are not happy with the product and the service. They are not happy with the company. That's why they are leaving. We should not have large number for that. The number of account loss supposed to be as small as possible. Even if it is zero, that would be even better. That means that no one will be leaving us. We will be having them for future businesses. Okay, so if you look at this table, remember that we expect the higher, larger numbers for each, but that number of accounts lost, it should be as small as possible, or it should be zero. If I were the leader, I will be looking at your performances in terms of all of them. And if I see one of you losing accounts in the whole year, then I will have to call you. I will have to discuss with you because this is not a good situation. No, it's not good for you. It's not good for me. It's not good for the company. See that? So we try our best, provide them the best service, okay, and meet or even exceed their needs, whatever we study in the whole semester. Okay, so that's how we will be evaluating their performances. Can you guys follow up to now?
Yes. 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 Yes.
An output-based system, okay? I will be going to the model. Actually, you see, like there are some other theories like BOS or MBO or whatever. You will be studying in like, how to call like, some other subjects, okay? I will not pay attention to these. I will come to hear the, how to call like, model of evaluation, okay? When we come to model of evaluation, we have 4-factor model. According to 4-factor model, we know that each salesperson has to achieve the sales. And they have to achieve better and better, higher and higher sales. So in order to achieve the sales revenue, what are the factors that we consider? So definitely how many days they work, right, per year, and call rate. Call rate, that would be how many calls they make, all right? And also we multiply by batting average. Batting average is like orders divided by the number of calls, okay? And here, average order size, sales divided by order. We get average orders. To achieve sales revenue, find out how many days they have to work and how many calls they have to make, and also how many orders that they achieve, and every order, what is the size of the order? We multiply all of them, then we get the total sales revenue. So these are the 4 factors here, 4-factor model, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay? If you don't have the numbers directly, then you can come up with these call rate, for example, by using number of calls, you divide by number of days worked, then you get a call rate. Okay? So either you use the upper one or the So it is telling us that when we look at 4-factor model, sales, that is the output, right? That is the output sales. And now we have 4 factors. Among these 4 factors, how many input and how many output you are seeing here? So look at it. Number of days work. How many days they have to work to achieve the sales? That is input factor. Call rate. Okay, how many calls they have to make, then that is also input. When they call, they receive the order. That is output. And here, the size of the order, output, outcome. So we can say that in this model, there are 2 input and 2 output factors. If you want your salespeople increase the sales, then you ask them to work more days, or ask them to make more calls, ask them to receive more orders, or ask them to get larger and larger order size. You can ask them to increase one of those, or even they can increase all of them, some of them, then definitely you can increase the sales. Okay, so this is 4-factor model. So just now, if you don't know that which ones are input output table and last class input table, you can come back and look at the table, and then you know which one are input and which one are output. Okay, guys? So when we evaluate their performances, if we see that sales that they achieve are small, low, then we need to review these 4 factors. It is possible that they have been working so hard, okay, they have been making many calls, they receive many orders, but the order size will be very small. Because of the small order size, the sales are also small. So in the session, we will ask the salesperson to increase the order size, encourage the salesperson to get larger and larger order size. Get it? So to get larger order size, then the salesperson should focus on larger accounts, not on the small accounts, isn't it? Or number of days work. The salesperson has been absent in the whole year, many absences. That's why, because of number of days work lower than the standard, fewer than the standard, then cannot achieve the sales quota. That is also possible. See that? So that's how we will be evaluating. But they make calls, they receive the average order size is okay, but at batting average, the orders that they receive is quite few. So it is possible that even though they make a sales call, they cannot receive the order, they cannot achieve the order. They have the problem with closing the sales, isn't it? So that's how we will be evaluating them. Is it okay for you? Guys?
Okay.
All right. So let's go to the next example. I want you to look at this table. All right, take that screenshot first. Take that screenshot. Then you look at this table here on this side. Tell me, how many input factors do you see? As I said, if you don't know automatically which one is in and out, you go back to the table. How many inputs? Egg drum roll. See, he's not here in the class. Even though his face is showing here, he's not in the class. And he wrote me in the exam about part 2. He said that he never saw part 2 before. Oh my God. So now I know why he never saw it, because he's not in the class.
没有好的就是
What do you think? Did I? What were you doing? What were you doing? See, that's it. There is a strong relationship between the students' behavior in the classroom and their midterm score. That's my finding. Okay, how many input factors? I'm not going to continue. Huh?
11,
I'm not going to continue if you don't understand. Input. How many input? How many input factors do we see here? Just now we study already input and output, isn't it? Are you guys here with me, or you are doing something else for another subject? What are you doing, guys? This is going to be your assignment 3. If you are not answering me, I'm leaving. You call me back only when you are ready. I'm just wasting my time asking you guys. Seven, input.
Yeah.
What are these 7 factors? Are you sure 7?
Not sure if they is word, call today, expensive to call, expensive to order, and expensive as customer service.
Right. Actually, if we take all expenses together as expenses, right, then we have days work, import, number of calls, import, expenses, import, and calls per day, import. So you listen, you pay attention, and if you see assignment 3, and if you don't know what to do, don't ask me, because I'm teaching now and you are not paying attention. The rest, you're not answering my question.
Teacher, could you repeat again? I'm
Repeat
listening.
what? Repeat what?
I mean like the output, the input, teacher.
I just said it. What were you doing?
Yeah, I'm listening, but I cannot catch up all of them.
Oh. If you look at this example, there are 2 sales per way. You will see both input and output factors that we are using. If you look at one by one, there are 4 input factors and the rest are output. as I said, if you don't know which one is input, which one is output, you go back to the table. Input table, output table. Check them out. That's what you will do for your assignment. If you look at salesperson, you see annual sales that they achieve. If we look at only sales, then you see that Jones is doing better than Smith because 1.4 million sales, higher than Smith. But as we study in the beginning of the chapter, the big picture, iceberg principle and everything, okay, 80-20 principle. Based on all these theories, we do not look only one factor. So we cannot only say that Jones is better because higher sales. Not only that. Continue looking at the other factors. When we come to the second one, number of days worked. Number of days worked. Business. Calls. Smaller number of calls than Smith. Orders received. Smaller than Smith. So in this kind of situation, by looking at these three, you see that Jones is working lesser than Smith, but the sales higher. Okay, continue. Expenses. Jones having higher expenses. So having the higher sales, we can evaluate as better performance. What about having the higher expense? The performance should not be better. In terms of performance, be smaller. So in terms of expenses, Smith is doing better. In terms of workload, days and calls and even orders received, Smith is doing better. But in terms of sales, Jones is doing better. Okay, so what about calls per day? Every day, then here, Jones calling lesser than Smith. And the orders that they receive, smaller percentage. And the sales, okay, every time they receive the order, Jones' orders are larger than Smith. It's almost double. See that? And expenses, of course, per call and per order. So if we look at the expenses here, total expenses, Jones higher than the Smith, and the other expenses in detail, cost and order expenses. Jones also larger than Smith, higher expenses. But when we look at the expenses in terms of percentage, expenses as percentage of sales. Remember chapter 2 appendix, we study already percentage of sales approach, right? So expenses as percentage of sales, they have equal percentages. That means that they are having equal percentage of expenses, even though in terms of amount of money, they are different. Percentages the same. Do you have any idea how do we get that 1.35%? You guys are not answering my questions, yeah? I thought that I will get the class participation, so I did not prepare for those details, and now I'm not getting participation. Very disappointing, guys. I don't know what is going on with you. So if you're just going to listen and you are not participating, no. Okay. Okay, so you can take the detail. Oh, what is going on? Can you guys follow now? Now do you know how to get 1.35?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Oh my God. In this case, we cannot always say that, hey, Jones having expenses, because in terms of percentage, they are spending the same percentage. Okay, so why would Jones having higher sales? Because they are having like equal percentage. Okay, they spend equal percentage in terms of expenses. And also, when we look at the other performances, in terms of workload, Jones working less than Smith. Orders even receiving fewer than Smith. But why the sales are increasing? When you look at all of them, it is possible that sales per order, you look at here. Okay, so sales per order are like almost double compared to Smith. That means that for each order, Jones received like almost $3,000, but Smith only about $1,500, right? So the order sizes of Jones are double. That's why sales are higher, even though the order is smaller number. By looking at these numbers, and now we know the reason. We know the reason that and Smith working more days, more activities, receiving more orders than Jones with the same expense percentage. And Smith sales are lower because of the order size here. So the way we will suggest or advise Smith would be, for Smith, she should be focusing on larger accounts and try to increase the order size. It is possible that now, currently, Smith is focusing on small accounts, for example, like Type C accounts. Type C accounts, small accounts. That's why the orders are many orders, because many small accounts. The sales per order will be also small, right? Since Smith is focusing on small accounts, and definitely, of course, Smith will have to work more, right? more effort because of the large number of the accounts. But if you look at the size of the account, size of the order, very small, we will suggest Smith to focus on larger accounts so that the number of the order might be fewer in the future, but the order size might be increasing, hoping that Smith will be able to increase their sales. Right?
Yes, yes.
So what about Jones? Jones, in terms of order, in terms of sales per order, he is doing very well. Which one is not well? Which one is not good? Expensive. Okay? Even though in terms of percentage, equal, but if you look at here, expenses is expensive and if you look at the expenses, they are like almost double. See that? But the sales difference is not too much, but the expenses differences are almost double here. Okay? Expenses per order and so on. So we should suggest Jones to be careful about the expenses. If it is possible, try to reduce the expenses. And from looking at the number of the orders and the order per sales per order, we assume that Jones has been focusing on large accounts. Okay, larger accounts, probably like type A accounts. In this case, then it is possible that even though these are the type A accounts or large accounts, if it is necessary, if it is possible, try to pay attention on the expenses. Okay? He may also consider selling to other types of accounts as well. He may, okay? If he has more time.
Yes.
Question?
No.
No question. Okay, good. So let's go to the next example. The first example, we compare, okay? We compare two salespersons and we see how we will give the suggestion based on their performances. Of course, yearly basis. Second example, now we have 5 salespeople. We are going to give them the rank according to the sales, according to whatever that they have, okay? And we will be evaluating, making the suggestion, giving them advices. Take that screenshot. There are also combination of 5 salespeople. Okay, starting from dollar sales until the number of reports turned in. Guys, listen. dollar sales, that is output. Sales to potential, output, sales, sales. These are the output factors, right? And how many calls they have to make, input. How many orders they receive per call, output. Gross margin, output. Expenses, input. Number of the accounts, output. Number of the reports, input. Right? So again, if you are not sure, you can always go back and refer to these two tables. Mr. Roth, can you follow?
Yes.
Okay, good. Now, listen. In this example, we have 5 salespeople. In our company, we might have 20 salespeople. In your company, you might have 35. In another company, they might have only 2. Another company, it depends on how many salespeople you have. We can compare, okay? And then we will be giving them the rank. So we will look at the input and output factors one by one. Depends on how much they achieve, how many times they have been performing. We will be and number 1 will be the best one, and number 5 will be the poorest one. Okay, for example, in our class, section 401, Kekamon got the highest score for the midterm. In this case, Kekamon as number 1, the best in section 401. You get it? So here you see like, actually, how much sales they achieve. It doesn't tell us. We don't need to know how much they achieve or how many times they have to perform. We don't have to know. Because in the example, they gave the rank to us already. Okay? They gave the rank, so we just look at the rank and then we will be evaluating their performances. In terms of dollar sales, you see that Ford is getting 1 and Gold is getting 5. Therefore, we assume that Ford is the best in terms of sales, means achieving higher sales. Gold, poorest, that means that Gold is achieving the lowest sales. In the middle, these are like moderate. Okay, so what about in terms of sales to potential? Sales to potential, then you see that Gold is getting 1, the best, but Ford is getting lowest. Sales to quota, sales per order. Now you start seeing that even though Ford, in terms of total sales revenue, Ford is the, if you look at the potential sales to quota, sales per order, Ford is the lousiest one, poorest one. Okay? And you see like here, 1, 1, 1. In terms of number of calls, okay, number of calls, Shaw is making the largest number of calls, followed by Ford, and Bell having the smallest number of calls. See that? Okay? So these are the, how to call like, ranks, the best and the poorest. What about Ford? Gross margin, again, number 5, poorest. Okay? Achieving number of new accounts, okay, many new accounts. For each factor, we compare all these 5 with their actual performances, and we give them the, how to call it, the rank. Okay? For example, Kekamon, number 1, Siddharth, and another one, I forgot the name, okay, would be second, and followed by third, fourth, fifth. Okay? So that's the same idea here. After we finish giving them the rank, we will sum them up. Okay? So the total rank will be coming up here, Ford with 36, and Gold 25, and here in the middle, 28, 30, 31. So now let's look at the total ranks. after looking at the total rank, how would you evaluate their performances? You come back here. 1 is the best and 5 is the poorest. If you look at the total score, Gold is getting the smallest number and Ford is getting the largest number. And when you look at the performance of Gold one by one, except dollar sales poorest, the rest are like quite good, right? The rest are quite good. Gold's performance in terms of dollar sales poorest, and in terms of number of calls, second poorest. But the rest are okay. And in terms of total, Gold is getting smallest number. That means that among these 5, the performance of Gold will be the best with the smallest number. And if you look at each item, the best, okay? So what about paying attention to the lowest one, Ford, 36, okay, poorest. And if you look at each item, even though dollar sales, the others are like quite poor. See that? 4, 5, 4, 5. So in this case, then we evaluate Ford performance as poorest. So what about the other 3 in the middle? 28, 30, 31, their performances are not very much different. We can say that they are the, average performing salespeople. Not too many problems. They are doing average. So, as a sales manager, what will be our suggestion? So you look, even though Gold turned out to be the best, having the best performance, okay? In terms of sales, still poorest. See that? Therefore, what we can do is Ford with the largest number of the sales and here, many new accounts. If we shift some of the territories that we assign to Ford, we shift to Gold. In this case, Ford will have like smaller territory and smaller Ford will have more time to work on larger accounts and larger orders. Because if you look at orders per call for Ford, number 4, quite small. And also, Ford, when we look at the expenses, where is the expense? Orders, gross margin here. Gross margin, lowest, poorest. See that? It is possible that the profit will be smallest, lowest, because Ford might be giving large discounts. Ford might be reducing selling prices. That's why with the large discount, with the reduced price, even though Ford is gaining largest sales revenue, in terms of profit, the smallest one. So we assume that the highest sales that Ford is achieving here might be because giving a lot of discount and cutting the prices. So we have to tell Ford, stop doing that. Okay? So Ford should stop cutting selling prices or giving large discounts, rather that account to get other orders. Okay? Because sales per order also very small here. That means that sales per order is small Ford might be focusing on small accounts and cutting prices. So even though achieving the higher sales revenue, since the order size is small, since the sales per order is small, and with a large discount, the profit is minimum here. So this is about Ford. Is that okay, guys?
OK，继续。
Yes.
So for gold, we will shift some territories from Ford to gold. So since gold, you see, like, performance is the best, and there are many, best performance in some other activities. By shifting some territories of Ford to gold, we hope that gold will be able to manage it, okay? And hoping that he or she, gold, okay, this is a surname, so I don't know he or she, gold will be able to be higher than this.
Teacher,
Yeah?
can you explain part goal again?
If you look at the performances of gold, right, here there are many activities performing very well, except this one. This is what? This is number of calls, right? Gold is getting 4, so quite poor, fewer number of calls. And probably because of fewer number of calls, the sales is also the lowest one. In this case, when we shift some territories of Ford to gold, then gold will get more territories with more number of the accounts. So by calling those accounts and the territory transfer from Ford to gold, gold will be able to achieve more sales, so we'll be able to improve the total sales revenue. And with the best performance overall, even though we switch some territories to gold, we assume that gold will be able to work in those territories.
Thank
Best
you.
performance. And if you look at the number of calls here, number of calls of gold, second poorest. Second poorest, therefore, when we switch some territories to gold and with some number of the accounts, then gold will be able to make more calls to those accounts, then this one may also be improving. All right?
Yes.
Okay, so for the middle three, we assume that they are doing okay, fine, because they are like in the range, okay, in the average. The differences are not too large, but we pay attention on gold and Ford because their scores are extreme. That's why. Okay, guys.
Yes. Okay.
All right. After that, then now we have ratios. Okay, by using the ratios, we will also be able to evaluate the performance of sales people. Call activity ratio, this is the first group. Ratio. But if you look at the topic, here account related ratio, the first one called productivity ratio. But the ratios are the same. Okay, The ratios are the same, only the topics are different. So come to the third one, expense ratio. Okay, let's see cost productivity ratio or account related ratio, whatever we call. Sales to account, right? Average order size, the growth ratio, account success. What you need to do is like, you look at the ratio, okay? And what we expect here is, for example, average order size, that should be larger. We expect a larger order size, right? And also, let's say growth ratio. We expect salespeople achieving more and more new accounts to the company. We expect the higher ratio, isn't it? Okay. Account success. How many accounts we have and how many accounts that we can sell the product. We expect the larger one, higher number. Okay. The sales, of course, higher. So what you will do here is for the first and the second, okay, these two topics, the same ratios, we expect the larger numbers, higher numbers, so that we'll be able to evaluate their performances as favorable or positive. Okay, good. But the last one is expense ratio. Since these are the expenses, the ratios should be small, isn't it? Okay, they should have small number of ratios for expense. If they have high, then we evaluate as having poor performances. So those ratios are small, then their performances will be acceptable. So you don't have to worry about memorizing the ratios, okay? You don't have to memorize, but what you need to do is when you see which number and how you will evaluate the performance of that sales person. So that is about chapter 13. Is there any question or any topic you want me to repeat?
No.
Any question? All right, I guess there is no question. This is about chapter 13, that is about the textbook. And now we will be able to discuss about role play. How about assignment? Are you guys ready to submit sales forecast? It's supposed to be on this Saturday, right?
Yes. Yes.
So don't forget that your assignment due date will be on this Saturday. And after that, you will be receiving assignment 3, okay, regarding this chapter. But for the role play, I just look at the calendar. We have 4 classes left, yeah? Is that correct? Monday 20, Wednesday 22nd, next Monday 27, and next Wednesday 29, because your exam will start on 30th. Is that correct? Can you guys check?
Yes.
What are we going to do with these 4 classes? August, September. We start on 30th. When do you want? Yes.
When you gonna give us the guideline?
Wait. Don't rush. You haven't even submitted the assignment, say forecast assignment yet.
Okay.
All the requirements were told already during the class, during the lecture. If you were listening to me in the class, then you knew already what you do and what are the requirements. That the requirements that I will post, that is just in written. Whatever I said already after midterm until now, and also in the course outline, I said everything already. I'm just going to post it again in written. That's it. So don't rush. I told everything already in the class. So you should know what to do and what to prepare, okay? I said everything in the class whenever we talk about role play. Okay, now listen. We have Monday 20th, Wednesday 22nd, Monday 27th, and Wednesday 29th. 2 more weeks. Which week do you think you want to do the role play? Next week or the week after next week? Up to you. I'm fine. I'm okay. Up to you.
The week after next week.
Ow.
The week after next week.
Okay. Huh? So you mean the last week, right? The last week.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, good. So we will do role play in the last week. That will be in next 2 weeks. Next week, what are we going to do? Next week, we will be meeting in the classroom, and you guys ask me any problem, anything about your role play. Would that be better? Because now we don't have much time today.
Okay.
Do you think that would be better? Because we have next week, the whole week, 2 classes. We can meet in the class, and then I will be talking to each group. Is that okay?
Okay.
Okay. Teacher,
Yeah.
do we have to make the PowerPoint or just role play?
เฮ้ยอีนี่ละโน้ตอะนี่ละโน้ต Okay, wait. I found something that I told you guys that I will have to find it. Okay, I found something. Wait. Let me share the screen. Wait. Do you see the picture now?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Luckily, I could trace back a few photos. That's how they did the presentation. Okay. So usually you see like on the presentation day, you guys will be calling me by using Zoom. It's up to you. You can use Microsoft Teams, you can use Zoom, but if it is Microsoft Teams and if it is during the class time, I don't, how do you call it? I don't know, okay? I don't want other groups sitting listening because I cannot control the system. I don't want any like cheating or copying or sharing the idea. I don't want that. So usually I do it like group by group. So until last semester, we used Zoom application. So your group will be making the appointment according to the date and the time that you draw. On that day, at that time, of course, about 5 minutes before the time, you send me the Zoom link. Then we will meet in that meeting room, okay? That's what we did in the past. So, of course, there will be the group members, okay? This girl got the responsibility for product part. She was, at that time, she was in Phuket, I think, if I remember correctly, okay? Phuket or Pattaya. She got the product, Thai perfume, Thai brand. The real product, okay? She got the sample and also like here the product display okay? And she was doing the product demonstration. Here, the price quotation, okay? Special offer. Definitely, of course, you need the PowerPoint. Without the PowerPoint, how are you going to do the presentation? Okay? So here, the special offer, whatever you are going to do, you put on the PowerPoint. Because you have the content part 2%. Okay? 2% content part, that is totally the PowerPoint slide and the document that you will submit to me. This is another group. Lotion. Okay? Hand lotion, body lotion. They also got the product sample. Okay, that is the product display. So here, you see, like, you have to tell me, that's why I told you choose the product carefully, because you have to tell me your account, the payment terms and conditions. See that? Okay? And on that day, I will be seeing you guys. So I will see you, your personal appearance, whether you wear the company uniform or just a school uniform, because that is part of like creativity. See that? This is product demonstration. We cannot try. So they try the product, they show us how to apply and how the product works. Okay? That's what they did. So on that day, in my office, I'll be using like multi-screen, and then I'll be watching your presentation, listening to you, and checking your, how to call, like, documents and everything. Okay? That's what we will do. Therefore, when we, how do we call? When you guys prepare for the role play, these are the things that you will be preparing. Okay, I told you already. Again, I will be posting the written document probably this weekend. Okay, this weekend I will be posting the written document so you can check. There will be the checklist, whatever you need. Any questions? It's not that in the example, the accounts are like 7-Eleven and Lotus. Therefore, you also turn out to be like 7-Eleven and Lotus. Don't copy directly like that, okay? Depends on the nature of the product. You should have different types of the accounts. It was also in the midterm already, remember? In the midterm, I gave you the product, and then I asked you to find the prospective customers. The same here. Okay, guys? That's why I told you that the product is very important. If you don't have the right product, then the rest will be like delaying everything. Okay? Oh, the midterm score. Give me a little bit more time to talk to those 4 students. Then probably this evening, I will post it in the chat box. Is that okay? This evening?
Yes.
Okay.
All right. Do you want the whole list, or you want only ID and the score? I have the name and ID and surname and what time you studied the exam and what time you studied them and everything in detail. What do you want?
Just ID and score.
Okay, ID and score. So you wait until the evening. I'll be posting in the chat box. Okay, guys?
Okay, fine. Oh, thank you.
All right. So those whom I called in the last class, I guess like 5 students, right? Can you guys stay? And the rest, you guys, you send the names, IDs to the chat box, and you can leave. So the rest will be staying